So did you like take a punch or something?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, that's a big zit. Thanks for pointing it out, you fucking prick.
It doesn't look like a zit. It looks like something hits you.
It feels like something hit me. It's like one of those zits that like just like it's deep. It's the mole people of zits.
It's the mold people of zits.
You should record it and make a YouTube video because I hear there's like a subgenre for that shit.
For poppin' zits?
Yes.
I've watched videos before, yeah.
I heard about it and I was like, no.
I'm not super squeamish or anything like that. Like, I mean, I can watch them, but that doesn't mean I want to. Like, the only stuff that I actually cannot watch are, like, those doctor surgery shows, like the real-life ones. Yeah. That everybody's like, this is so educational. I'm like, they're fucking cutting this guy's liver out. That's gross.
You give me a show where it's, like, horrifying, gruesome insanity, I won't bat a fucking eye. You give me a show where it's, like, a guy getting an actual surgery, and I will just... I will lose my I have to leave the room. Like I'm like I can't handle this.
I can't watch needles.
The needles don't bother me too badly.
I don't know what it is. It's like my uncle has it and I have it too. It's I don't know if it's like a mental thing or something else. I just can't do it.
I think it's called trypanphobia.
That sounds familiar.
I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it's something like that.
Charnel has a pretty crippling fear of needles and stuff like that. When she has to go for a shot, like
I'm not scared of them. I just it bothers me.
Yeah. Is it like just the needle, or is it the needle going in the skin, or is it like the hole?
It's the end and like looking. A couple weeks ago, I looked down for the first time in years when I was having blood drawn. Like, whoever was the lady that was doing it was distracting me really well.
It's pretty good.
So,
hello,
Where do we go from here?
Hello, Harwood.
Hey, how's it going?
Anyway, I would like to say something.
What would you like to say, Brad?
Welcome to Constantly Calibrating, everyone. I'm your host, Brad. Returning to us this week from his hiatus is Ryan. Ryan, we're glad to have you back.
Hey, I'm glad to be back. Thank you for having me. I'm so appreciative of dude, it's been so crazy. Like, I am really glad to be back. Like the week after RTX in July, like the second week of July, when we took that break, everything was cool. And then like the week after that, everything went crazy. Like I was sick for 1 week, and then everything at work went just nutso, and then I had to have my wisdom teeth out, which I mean, if you want, I can tell you a fun story about that too. Since we're
there's
talking
a
about
reason why the last episode was going to be called Calibrating Sinus Holes or something.
Oh my god, yeah. So whenever I had my wisdom teeth out, they busted a hole through. There's like a really thin bone between your jaw and your sinus cavity, and on my right side right here, they busted through that bone into my sinus cavity, and like, you know, like when you have a runny nose and it like drips out your nose or it's going down your throat, it was going through a hole in my mouth. Like a week or so like after the surgery, like I need to very gently blow my nose because I'm a little congested, and like all the blood and snot and goop just came out of the hole in my mouth, and it was very, very gross. Like if it was not my own, I probably would have tossed. Like it was bad.
I want to throw up just thinking about it.
There might have been an audience for it.
I could pinch my nose and like try and blow it, and like everything would come. It'd be like I was blowing my nose through my mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I hear this whistling all the time, but it's starting to heal up. I may
Trigger
not have
warnings, Jesus Christ.
I may not have to sue this guy for malpractice. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to paying off the rest of the student loans. But in the next week or two, I do need to go get checked out by an ENT just to make sure that nothing is super crazy. Because I went back to the guy and I was like, "Hey, all this is happening with my facial hole in the region where you stabbed me with stuff while I was passed out, you know." And he was literally in the room for like 2 minutes. He came in. He's like, "How's it going?" Okay, popsicle stick, mouth. That's normal. Bye.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I'm just gonna go continue to suffer. Thanks for, all the helpful hints you gave me, and all the doctorly love and amazing bedside manner you have. I realize you have shit to do too, but it would be nice if you would treat me like a human. Anyways.
Wow.
I don't know. That treated like a human. Come on, Ryan.
Doctors
What do
don't
you
know how to do
expect out of medical stuff nowadays?
Hardwood Row. Yes, I had that exact same. That's actually how I found out about it. Is like after the surgery, like there's whenever you have your wisdom teeth out, it bleeds a lot, and like it was going through this hole, and it was coming out my nose and like down my throat, and like that's not normal. But I didn't pick up on it then. A couple days. I'm sorry, Josh, to do this to you. You need this, and I hate you.
Get it out of your system, man. I just gotta take the headphones off.
But this is actually kind of funny. The week after the surgery, it was like finally at the point where I can do the normal oral hygiene thing, and I was swishing around some Listerine in my mouth, and I sat down in our recliner and kind of leaned back like this, and whenever I did that, I had this searing pain as Listerine came through my sinuses and out my nose, and it was there's nothing worse.
There's a party trick in there.
There's something in there. There's something going on. Jeez.
So welcome back.
Welcome back. Quick derail from the podcast for just a moment. For anyone watching the live stream, let us know if you're seeing any root stuttering things. I'm having a shit ton of drop frames going on. I know something's going on with Brad's. But I can't. I don't know if that's him or something on our end, just because we're getting drop frames. But if you notice any sound quirks or anything like that, just let me know.
Yeah, it looks like it's like leveling out though. Like it's
been
down.
leveling out. It's just spiked when I touch something, so I can't touch anything on the computer right now. Apparently.
So yeah, I was having some issues streaming earlier. I was dropping frames. Maybe I can do better than I thought. Maybe there's just something going on with my ISP.
Back on.
So in case you haven't noticed already, we have something slightly out of the ordinary going on tonight. We have Josh and Justin in the same room, which is actually going to be our topic of discussion tonight. Guys, how you doing? Well,
surprise.
How am I?
He says it with a straight face, and you are completely caught off guard. I love it when people can catch you off guard.
It happens. So how am I? I drove 5+ hours up to Vegas on Saturday and drove 5+ hours down from Vegas today. Had to rush home to make sure to get my kid from school. So that was very exhausting experience. However, that was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I just came back and slept.
Yeah, Justin pretty much ate food and then passed out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much immediately, just suddenly stood up, walked off, and I'm like, I'm sitting there on my phone for 10 minutes. I look around, I'm like, the fuck did he go? And sure enough, he's sleeping in bed.
Very nice.
So yeah, it was a good event. I like GameStop Expo a lot. I like driving up to Vegas for it. It's a fun event. It's exhausting, but
you need to get maybe 2 nights a hotel room next time.
We did 2 nights. I mean, we drove up Saturday, had Saturday night, had the event Sunday, slept in Sunday night, and then came back Monday.
Then maybe you just need to fly. I don't know.
Yeah, as Hardwood was saying here, we're going to touch on that in a second. He said, not going to lie, didn't even know GameStop Expo was a thing until I saw your tweets about it. Let's touch on that right away.
Yep.
So, the best way I can describe the GameStop Expo, we talk about it every 2 years, I guess, at this point, because it used to switch between Texas, Anaheim, and Vegas. Lately, it's been switching just between Vegas and Anaheim. It started off as the GameStop Managers Conference, where GameStop managers and assistant managers were sent to find out about the new major products coming out so they could better sell them. 4 to 5 years ago, it turned into an event that people could attend, and that's kind of how it's been ever since. The thing is, a lot of people still don't really know about the whole experience. They don't quite quite know it even exists because it's still thought to be something that GameStop employees go to. And Ryan, on your comment about no assistant managers, I knew several assistant managers who went. That's the only reason I said it.
rare
Because they're fucking liars, and they never went. They just made it look like they did.
Now, with that, it's a rare occurrence. It depends if the manager can go or cannot go, but they can send their assistant managers instead.
Yeah, so I mean, in that sense, they're not the required person to go, but they are a potential person who could go. Is more the mentality. But anyways, so that's what it is. But a lot of people don't know about it, so it's kind of interesting because of the nature of the fact that it's managers and stuff like that, and the nature of that whole aspect. You get all the stuff like you'd see at E3. Not all the stuff. You get a lot of the stuff. You get it's kind of like the mini E3. You have Ubisoft, you have Microsoft, you have Sony, you have Konami, Capcom, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Konami was there with one game.
Konami was there with their one thing, and it wasn't a Plinko machine. Who would have thought? It was, what was it? Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yep.
Whatever number. 2018, I guess. But it was all these things.
Like I described this in our video, but it's like every big thing that they can sell in a retail store.
Exactly. So you have all that stuff you'd see in E3, except, again, nobody knows about this event still. It's not, I don't know if it's not marketed well or what, and it also doesn't hurt that it's the week before, PAX. So I don't think a lot of people end up wanting to go to it, even if they are aware, because it's if you're going to choose one or the other. I will say, choose GameStop Expo if you can go, is my opinion, because this is our experience. Was just really quickly simple. We got in early, 90 minutes early with the VIPs because we were media. We went right in. We played fucking Mario Odyssey right off the bat. I mean, we'll get into specifics of games, whatever these guys, Ryan and Brad asked this question about, or you guys in chat, if you have a question about a game. We went right in, played that really quick, immediately. No line for Assassin's Creed. We came back later in the day, still no lines for anything. Everything was super quick, super efficient, super easy. The place never felt particularly packed. Supposedly they had 2,000 more people this year, but to me that feels like Phoenix Comic-Con saying they had like 10,000 more people, and yet feeling like the whole place was empty by comparison. So I don't know what those numbers are based off of. Does that include managers? Does that include staff? Like, what are those numbers based off of? But it felt really empty compared to previous GameStop Expo years, which also were easy to get to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a couple questions for you. Like, it was in Vegas, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. If I were gonna go, that's probably where I would want to go. Like, if I know they do it at different cities every now and then, but Vegas just seems like the coolest place because even if the expo sucks, there's lots of other things to do if you like the Blue Man Group and David Copperfield, and that kind of thing. Other than the actual expo itself, did you guys do anything particularly cool? Did you eat anywhere awesome?
So. Okay, one thing, I only go to the Vegas one. The reason I prefer it over the Anaheim location is because Anaheim is really expensive for hotels. The Vegas one, the deal you get for Treasure Island is actually not that expensive, so that's why I lean towards it. And yes, as I enjoy wandering around the city, we went to this place, Secret Pizza. You can find that on Yelp, but there's no other information you'll find anywhere else. It's essentially a place that years ago, Charnel and I were starving when we were in Vegas. She wandered into what she thought was the bathroom because it was a long hallway. It turned out the long hallway led to a pizzeria. And it's above average to really good, depending New York style pizza, and it's really delicious. It's Vegas affordable, which means it's $4.50 a slice, I want to say,
something like that.
So yeah, it's not actually affordable, but it's for Vegas. That's actually not bad. Oh good, I'm now the one stuttering. So yeah, I don't know what's going on signal here.
I think it's you because Ryan's clean on my end.
Yeah, Ryan's clean on my end as well. So
Ryan's clean all the time, baby.
If it becomes too problematic with audio, let me know. It'll be fine. It should be mostly fine. Oh yeah, no, I'm moving my hand and I'm seeing the stuttering. Oh, fun.
Don't do that. So you ate Secret Pizza.
Yeah, we ate Secret Pizza, and then we went to this burger place.
That's about it. Oh, we had yogurt.
You guys are fucking boring.
And we got,
Did you get a chance to even think about going to Heart Attack Grill? Because that sounds like the kind of place I want to go because the food looks ridiculous, and on top of that, apparently they will spank you if you don't finish your meal, and that's kind of hot. Let's be honest.
I mean, there was a heart attack grill around the corner from my house for 5 years until somebody died there. So I'm not. That's not even a
way
joke.
to go.
I'm not even kidding. A guy had a heart attack trying to do one of their food challenges, and I think they went out of business. Shortly afterwards. I've not seen advertisements in a while.
They should have stayed in business. That's
that's
advertised.
Exactly.
I think it
but
was.
I mean, how shitty would it be to die of something else at the heart attack grill? I died of lupus at the heart attack grill.
I think it's something related to where he specifically died. There was some legalities about him dying on in restaurant versus not. Like I think actually there was some legality like if he had died inside the heart attack grill, it actually would have been bad, but not like awful kind of thing. But because he died off the property and it was attributed to the place, there was some weird fucking like I remember there was this news story on 3TV News out here that was the most confusing like legal thing ever related to it.
That was gonna be my next question. Was like if you die of a heart attack inside the heart attack grill, does that and do you get
you go to Valhalla?
Do they pay for your? Do they pay for your funeral?
Probably not.
I feel like they would kind of have to. If I was the significant other of that guy, I'd be
they pay for the funeral, and you get your picture put up on the wall in every one of them.
Holy shit! No,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to completely train wreck and derail us off.
That's what this entire show is train wreck derailment. So
I mean, I totally meant to do it, and I don't really care. I just have to say that, I guess, for posterity's sake.
Yeah, for posterity's sake. So I know we didn't do a lot. Honestly, I was exhausted Saturday night after we got in. I was so freaking tired that I couldn't even bring myself to make us go out. Like I was just drained. And then Sunday after the event, it was a case of we ate breakfast at about 8 a.m. give or take, and forgot to bring snacks to the convention center. And we stayed at the convention center till almost the end of the show. It closed at 6 p.m. So I think we left about 5:30. We didn't end up getting a chance to go out to dinner until like 7:30, 8 p.m. So we went about 12 hours without any food whatsoever. By the time we'd eaten food, we had to then record the review show for the event, which should go up very late tonight. I have it sitting here finished editing. I just couldn't export it while the show was going on because I thought it would screw up the video. Apparently just existing is screwing up the video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was that whole aspect. And then, by the time we were done with all of that recording, it was like 9:30, 10. We had to leave the hotel at 8 a.m. It was like, fuck it. No. There was no willpower to actually do anything Vegas, but Justin and I are also 32-year-old losers.
Yep.
By the way, I saw a post earlier today. I just remembered somebody from Stream Arizona was mentioning that Cox they thought was throttling their bandwidth, and I've been actually seeing a lot of reports of that all weekend. So that might be actually what's hitting us right now.
Not the Dybbuk this time.
No. So
back to the expo.
Like,
all right.
The guys have a listener. So just for frame of reference. Okay, hold on. Harwood's asking us a question. Was there anything that wasn't at the expo that you wish was there? So here's the thing. We walked into the event with no real expectations. The joke was that let's run in. Nintendo's gonna have a booth. Let's run and play Super Mario Odyssey without actually expecting it to be there, and then it was there. We look over as we're playing that. Oh, there's Ubisoft. Oh, cool. We can play Assassin's Creed Origins. We get over to Assassin's Creed Origins. What do we see to our left? Far Cry 5 is playable, which is not coming out to what, March?
Yeah.
Is that the first time that's been playable?
It was playable, I think, at E3.
Okay.
I think it's the same exact demo. It was essentially what we've seen in trailers and stuff like that. So it was kind of a case of that. Evil Within 2. So there was a lot of stuff we did not expect to see at the show that was playable. Stuff I would have liked to go hands-on with. Like, literally, I wanted to go hands-on with Super Mario Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins. There was no other things on my list. Were there anything on your list that you could, mentally think of?
No, that's about it. I can't think of anything else there.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
So I was surprised Destiny 2 wasn't there, if we're talking about
very
something
surprised.
Like that. There was the only thing of it there was McFarlane Toys had some posters related to
They
it.
have a massive presence at PAX. They're running stuff from 10 to 6 every day at PAX.
So that's probably what it was, that they
Yeah.
they chose one event over the other because they're obviously so close.
Yeah, I think that they're closer to PAX in general, aren't they? And with launch being next week, there's no reason to overdo themselves with travel.
Well, I mean, Bungie is what? Bungie's still in Washington, right?
Yep.
So then they're at what? I think they're within a couple of hours of Seattle for PAX West. No, it makes perfect sense. But in the moment of being there, we didn't really think in those terms. As far as want to see more of, I'm gonna put quite simply. We played Super Mario Odyssey, first thing of the show. You had 2 demos you could play, the desert level and New Donk City.
Donk.
Yep. So that was it. So Justin played New Donk City, I played the desert level. Later in the day, we kind of didn't have a lot to do, so a little sidetrack on myself. The event ran until 6 p.m. We got in at 9:30 a.m. By noon, we were done. We had played absolutely every single possible game on that show floor that we ever could have wanted to. So
I mean, there's some VR stuff, but
I'm saying, like, what we kind of want to play VR stuff, but neither one of us were feeling well, so we didn't necessarily want to put on a VR helmet. But they had a Bethesda VR stuff. They had Skyrim and Skyrim VR and Fallout VR.
Yep.
So
and also Doom and all that stuff.
And Doom as well. So like, it would have been nice to try that, but essentially we tried just about everything by noon. So it was like, okay, well, I kind of want to talk to Greg Miller about something, but kind of funny was, hosting their stuff, hosting GameStop Expo's stuff. I want to talk to him. I knew he was going to go off stage in a little bit. It's like, okay, what's in the area we could do? Let's see if there's let's see how long the line is for Super Mario Odyssey. It was 1 minute long. So we went in at that time of day, a little over an hour after the whole attendees got in, and said, fuck it, let's go do it again. So we just switched places, played it again. If I would have gone and played it again and again and again and again and again. I dreamt of the game last night.
Really?
It is not just my game of show. It is
the game
one
of
of my
favorite.
It was one of my favorite fucking what?
The game of your dreams.
It's the game of my dreams. It's I'm just gonna tell you right now. So I despise Super Mario Galaxy. Hated it. I hated the controls. I didn't like the movement. I didn't like anything about it. I never played Mario Sunshine. The only 3D Mario game I've really played since Super Mario 64 was Super Mario World. So 3D World or whatever the hell for the Wii U, which was okay. It was fine. It was perfectly fine. This felt like this is the sequel to Super Mario 64. Is how I feel about this. The movement feels right. Doing long jumps feels right. Back flips off of the walls. Wall bouncing back and forth. Triple jumps. All that stuff's in. The controls feel the same. It's still a little imprecise, but in a way that feels authentic. You can't figure out where the fuck you're landing, but it felt right.
Did you play with the Joy-Cons, or did you play with the Pro Controller?
Joy-Con.
Yeah, they only let us play with the Joy-Con split apart.
Yep, yeah, split apart Joy-Con was how I played, which was really fun. I was like literally just playing with them down at my sides half the fucking time. But that's the thing is with Joy-Con, it was fine. The only issue I had was during my second demo. I was walking across some girders, and for whatever reason, Mario said, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make a 90-degree turn and walk off to my death." And that happened. And I lost 10 coins and just went to the checkpoint. It wasn't like no big deal.
I mean, when you run my life, I have those same kind of feelings, so it's probably not anything new.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's encouraging though. Like for a minute there, I was pretty sure that the Nintendo Switch was going to end up being the new PS Vita, where it's just like, why is this even here? Greg Miller, I love you. You're my boy, and all that. And Justin, fuck you, Justin. But like the Vita, like, what's the point of it? And I was afraid that the Switch was going to go that way too, because Splatoon 2 looks pretty cool, and like it seems like they've got a lot of stuff coming out eventually for it. Hopefully, that's going to be good. And I was really hoping that Mario was going to be the game changer for that. And I'm glad you guys liked it.
I think it's going to have not quite the same impact as Breath of the Wild did for the Zelda franchise. It's not going to quite have that level of impact because that was game changing and stuff. But I think this is going to be something people are very happy with when they get their hands on it at official release.
Cool, Did they have anything there for Breath of the Wild specifically looking for DLC 2? Like,
no.
Did they even talk about it or have pictures?
There was no presence anywhere for Zelda that I could think of. There wasn't even a poster.
Damn. I'm guessing winter's going to be more like December, January then.
Yeah.
Possibly. Just might. So what Nintendo had was Super Mario Odyssey.
Mhm.
It had the Metroid 3DS game,
Yes. Did expect to see
Splatoon
that there.
2, correct? And then I think the only other thing was Switch Rim, Skyrim for Switch.
Really? Sounds about right.
Switch Rim sounds like a terrible.
I was
like,
gonna
search
ask
term.
you what that is.
Yeah, no, I couldn't decide.
Like, don't go to Pornhub and look up Switch Rim because you will be very, very displeased, or maybe not. I'm not gonna judge you.
You could have a nice night.
Check out teenyweenies.com.
Check out teenyweenie.com for all of your pleasurable pleasures. Yeah, so that was pretty much all. They may have had one more thing. I feel like I remember seeing something, but they were really just devoted to Super Mario Odyssey with a little small section for Metroid.
Rabbids was there, wasn't it?
Rabbids was
Ubisoft
at the Ubisoft booth.
Sorry, I had to.
Was it at Nintendo's as well?
No, I think it's
I think it was just at Ubisoft's. Yeah. So that was really kind of Nintendo's mark. I'm just gonna, since we mentioned Skyrim, I just want to mention Justin played it. Watching him play it and him actually playing it. Simple. All you got to know about it is imagine you're playing Skyrim on a Nintendo Portable. It's literally what it is. It has all the DLC, and it plays exactly the same way as it played on every console.
Granted, I haven't had the dragon attacks with the bunch of other people fighting it and stuff like that, so I don't know if it'll slow down there. But from what I played, it plays pretty smooth.
Yeah, but
it
just from wandering around, it was Skyrim.
How noticeable is the graphical downgrade? Because there has to be a downgrade.
It'd probably be super noticeable if you're playing it on dock mode, playing in handheld mode. It looked pretty good. Better than 360.
Yeah,
okay.
That's how I would say it's better than 360 for the handheld.
That's fair.
So to kind of touch on some current event stuff, I mean, we've had a lot of stuff going on with all these crazy radical right-wing groups and neo-Nazis and white supremacist groups. And so because of all that, there's just one game that comes to mind that I really want to know about. You guys got a chance to play Cuphead, right?
I'm looking at the list. I'm like, okay, is he going for Cuphead? Is he going to go for Dragon Ball? What, or South Park? What are we going for here? So here's a fun story about Cuphead.
I mean, we're going to talk about Far Cry 5 because I really do want to know about that eventually, but that was too stupid.
Shuffle Wolfenstein.
Not to go
or Wolfenstein. That really, you could go for either one there. Cuphead is a fun thing for me because, so we've seen Cuphead trailers and sizzle reels for forever. I jokingly say 87 years, but it's been at least a good 4 to 5 years at this point. I didn't know it was a Contra game until yesterday. I did not have any fucking clue what kind of gameplay it was, that it was, an 8-directional Contra-styled shooter. That game, we played co-op mode. It was enjoyable. The controls feel really smooth. It feels like you're playing a good Contra game. The graphics are monstrously gorgeous. That's what drew all of us in for the sizzle reel stuff. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, all hand drawn animation looks
awesome.
The one issue I'll say on that is there's a film grain aspect because obviously it's supposed to mirror old cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine if you played for longer, it'll be better. But taking my already terrible at platformer Contra style games and then adding this film grain, I was so fucking bad at it that so we start off and we went into the map world essentially. You just wander around the map. We just chose a level at random. It seemed like it could have been the first level. We couldn't beat it. I don't even think we made it halfway through the fucking level. After we died 5 or 6 times. And I think it was 80% due to ineptitude. But yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah. Granted, I kind of just want to play it just it's actually here, and we did that.
It was literally, we wandered over to Microsoft 4 o'clock, and we're just like, oh shit, Cuphead's here. Want to play Cuphead? Okay, let's go play Cuphead. And we could have played single player immediately, and we had to wait 5-10 minutes for 2-player. And it was fun. It was legitimately fun. I can actually, I don't know what the price point is on it, but I could see picking it up for just, some fun Let's Playable kind of content and just dicking around.
Is it a play anywhere game or is it just on the one?
I could not tell you that.
The guy who was there was very tired and was not willing to give us a lot of information. So when does Cuphead as the new Dark Souls memes start? Yeah, when it's an actual game. Because I played it, but it's still... Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Someone look up when it is because I don't want to bother risking opening a website up on this computer right now.
I've got something that popped up last week that I was really surprised you guys got to get your hands on. But I'm really interested in it. Tell me about BIOMUTANT, because this looks really cool.
Well, real quick before you get into it, it's actually a lot sooner than I thought too, because I thought it wasn't coming out until next year. But the initial release date for Cuphead is actually next month. It's exactly a month and a day, September 29th, 2017, according to this.
Shenanigans.
Yep.
I mean, the game it felt like a completed game, but
that's what everything says. Everything is saying 9/29/17.
Okay, cool.
I'll be playing SNES Classic that day, so fuck Cuphead.
pretty much in the same boat there.
Classic.
Or Cuphead.
But so it was fun. What you were asking about BIOMUTANT? Yes, BIOMUTANT is one of those games. I was even talking to some of the developers of it. Like, it just popped on the radar. 10 days ago? 2 weeks ago?
It showed up at Gamescom last week.
Yeah, it showed up at Gamescom. Nobody knew nobody knew about it. It was popping up in articles everywhere. It was out of nowhere. We got a press release for it. I'm still technically trying to book an appointment for it at PAX West, though, now that we played it. If they don't give us one, it won't be the end of the world. But yeah, we wandered over there. It was like in this little corner booth in the THQ Nordic booth. Like, you had to see it from the correct angle. Like, while Justin was demoing it, there was just a sequence of people coming over and be like, "Fuck, man, I didn't know this would be here. Fuck, man, I told you this was going to be here." And just like sequences of that just happening continuously. Talk to the guy. So apparently the game's been in development since 2014.
Wow.
Holy crap!
It's been in development since late 2014. It's been in development a while. It's a 2018 release. They said unless something catastrophic happens, which they can't say anything one way or the other.
It's THQ.
He would be very surprised if it did not come out in early 2018. Like, he flat out said that the game is actually pretty close to done. Justin give you more information on the actual playing of it, but just from a perspective of outside, it was very reminiscent. The way I describe it in our review show is it has customization stuff and overtime customization that makes me think of Peter Molyneux discussing the original Fable. Except this is what we should have gotten.
Don't you do that to me.
But like just based on the
do that to me.
Just based on the morphing stuff, because your character gets mutations over time. You choose them. The demo didn't allow you to choose, but
he's really focused on lobster claws.
Yeah, but apparently he starts talking about how you can start focusing on your claws, and eventually, you can upgrade those, and you'll start getting bigger claws and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's really cool. He's like, yeah, people love it when the lobster claws break out. I'm sorry, what the fuck? It's a raccoon. Why does he have what?
So he's a raccoon. That was my other question. Is what the hell is that thing?
It's just a furry animal.
It's a furry animal. It's a mutated raccoon. You talk about the.
I mean, it kind of is Rocket Raccoon in the game if you want it to be, but you could really you get wings and stuff like that too.
Yeah. The voice even was kind of Rocket Raccoon-y.
From what I could hear, they didn't really have a headset, so it's like trying to compete with a convention sound.
Yeah,
right.
So.
But I'd like to think it's like Dark Souls meets for a furry convention.
Close, but it's pretty cool. Every bit of you is customizable. Like when you create your character, like as far as like how he looks, like you can make him stocky, you can make him tall, skinny. It's like a WWE wrestler creator.
Ooh.
You choose his fur, like the type of fur he has, like some of it's bunched up, or you could do stuff that like just flips around, the color of them, everything. Combat's really cool. It has he described it as John Woo moments where you're fighting around and some slow motion stuff happens. Like you'll be hitting, you do a roll, you flip over the guy, start shooting, kind of like Devil May Cry style, like over him. You can also pop him up and shoot him while you're underneath him, stuff like that.
Did doves fly around everywhere?
Of course. I mean, John Woo.
Better.
The one issue we noticed with the game, and again, it's still pretty early on, obviously. The one issue we noticed though is, what in the original Mass Effect, when you walked into a new area, it would be really flat and kind of not pixelated, but kind of just distorted, right? And then it would slowly load in piece by piece as it rendered. This did a similar thing. Whenever Justin would enter new wide open areas, it would kind of just get this blur over it that faded out very, very, very slowly.
What were you playing it on?
I imagine it was a PC build.
I think it was a PC build, but he was using 360 controller. Yeah.
Nick claimed a lot of stuff was on Xbox, but no, I think a lot of stuff was actually on PC.
Well, no, that one somebody did ask the guy who was demoing it right before you freaked out. He's like, "Holy crap! You're bringing this to the Xbox 360?" And the guy's like, "Nope, it's on PC. Xbox 360 controllers are." I think the guy literally said they're just the superior PC controller.
I had no argument there.
Yeah, no. So it was just like, no. So that's just what we're using.
All right. Just a kind of a adventure game. There's no story released with it yet.
Not really. There's a weird mutation, like the world's mutating.
Okay.
Like in a weird way, and your goal is to find out why.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, like, there's, like, the, so, like, you kind of, like, choose, like, the anti-hero path or hero path.
Yeah, there's the anti-hero path or the good guy path, to the point that the demo starts off with, do you take the left path, -10? Do you take the good path, the right path, +10? Like, because they're just trying to give you a feel of how it changes. So there was, like, 2 or 3 moments of that. But, yeah, there's choices. There's a binary karma system, essentially.
Okay.
Wow, that kind of system is a thing of fable, a thing of legend.
No, like, seriously, this game felt very Fable-y. Not quite, but, like, there were definitely notes. Like, I even said to the guy, I'm like, influenced by Fable? And he gave me, like, a little shrug, like, kind of thing. Like that kind of response of, well, who isn't? When you're making this kind of adventure game. So
2014, that's about the time Fable fell off the map. So
the death of, what was it?
20... Put some fur on it!
2012, 2013 is when it was Fable 3, right? So
okay, that's a new timeline. I guess Fable, but we put fur on it.
Actually, no. I think Fable 3 was actually like 2011, because I think 2012 was Journey.
Let's see.
So yeah, that was that. Brad, I got another game for you.
All right.
It was our looks pretty main winner for E3. What, Brad?
October 2010 was Fable 3.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
That was 7 years ago, the last time we got a true Fable game.
Yes.
That's emotionally upsetting on so many levels.
So give me a game.
So, okay, it was our game of show, essentially, for all intents and purposes, our Look Pretty Award for E3. Assassin's Creed Origins. That game would have been my game of show if not for Mario at the event.
Really?
It was so fucking good. It takes a little bit to get used to, and you're kind of like, just like any of these demos, you're just jumped in. You just jump in a ways into the game, so
right.
So it's problematic in that regard. That you're kind of like learning the ropes, but it was so cool. Stealth is weird, kind of thing, because your assassinate button is now we were playing on Xbox One. So
yeah, so like speaking of like learning the controls.
Yeah, learning the controls kind of thing. So it's playing on Xbox One. And Y is assassinate now.
Ooh.
Which feels weird in the position on the controller, because it used to be X. Yeah, it feels
odd. Can you change it?
Possibly.
Possibly. They didn't have control options for this demo.
So yeah, there was no control options built in. Justin played it initially, and he didn't. It was a bad experience because he couldn't invert it. When he went back to play it a second time, he asked, and they actually they
had to do like a combination on the controller to switch it over to
like to switch it over, because there was no actual menu in the game.
Wow.
But yeah, Assassinate's on Y, which just feels weird. Combat. Go ahead.
Well, if Assassinate's on Y, then what's on X?
That's like to pick up stuff.
X was like picking up stuff.
Interacting.
So there's a couple of major design issues. It was pre-alpha, to be clear.
Yeah, okay.
So there was a couple of major issues with it.
How is it pre-alpha? It's coming out
in like 2 months.
The build
we played was pre-alpha.
The build we played was pre-alpha.
Okay.
Supposedly there's a build far ahead of where this one is. I think this is the same build from E3.
Yep.
Damn.
So
all right.
Harwood's saying he's got to be a special classic mode or something. You would hope so, but I don't know how it's going to work. So for instance, one more gripe about it, and then we can talk about combat. One more gripe. To dismount boats, horses, whatnot, you have to hold down B. That's the dismount.
Like there's
button.
A timer for the button,
but
that you hold down.
It's not like a hold down dink. It's like 4 seconds.
We're talking about like No Man's Sky level of you had to hold it down for a while to do something.
It's a ways of a thing. Okay. Cool.
Man,
Thank you.
I'm on the side of that now.
I want some dinner.
Yeah. So
She never sent me that cinnamon roll
She did
recipe,
not say.
and I'm mad.
I will have to bring it back up to her again.
You'll have to put her in line.
You're about to get into combat, and that's the whole thing. All combat is kind of like on the triggers now, from aiming your bow to attacking.
Yeah, so bow is hold down left trigger, fire with right trigger kind of thing. So that's so just standard guns.
Yep. See, left bumpers to pull out your shield.
Left bumpers pull out your shield, which I did not know. I could not deflect for the entire fucking game demo because I was not aware of this. Right bumper is light attack. Right trigger is heavy attack.
So, like I mentioned, it feels kind of Dark Souls-ish, or if you take the directional combat out of For Honor, it's kind of like the For Honor engine almost.
It sounds more like a combination of Horizon and Arkham to me.
So there's I can see that a little bit.
I wouldn't say Arkham because the combat definitely does not play like Arkham combat.
Well, so we all played Assassin's Creed games enough. I feel like at the point that most of us are used to. When you're surrounded by 5-10 enemies, it's like okay, I'm just gonna hit the parry button and counter. Parry button and counter.
I was about to say, it's so refreshing that we're actually getting an open world game that's not using like the Arkham style like inspired fighting system.
No, like fighting is actually complicated. You have to actually think. You have to look at what your opponents are using. You have to be careful. You can't button mash. You have to be super cautious.
Do they sit around and wait and take turns like they used to?
Oh no, you will have 3 guys simultaneously attacking you, and not in the way that the previous game did, where they simultaneously attack and then you just quickly triple tap the deflect parry button. No, if 3 guys attack you and you don't duck out of the way, your ass is done. Enemies will do essentially what they'll do moves where they just hit you, but they'll also do stronger moves every now and again. It's kind of like a grab, where you just suddenly get grabbed and just shanked a bunch of times.
Ooh.
Which will take more health off. Combat is hard. But it's in that way that your weapon felt like it had weight. It felt like your movements were determined. Like I felt like I was in combat. Like it upped my heart rate, and I thoroughly enjoyed. I always liked the Assassin's Creed combat, but it was lazy.
Needed a refresh for a while.
This was good. This felt really good. Really enjoyable.
That's really I want to test it out, but of course, like I mentioned, I kind of like had one of those experiences where developers trying to tell you what to do the whole time.
Yeah, he had tutorial man next to him who just was just telling him every last aspect. Yeah, I had the guy who was like, "Dude, I've been helping people play Mario Rabbids all day. I don't know shit about this fucking." He kind of, then he joked. He said it with a smile, laughing on his face, and they said, "Nah, I got you. So here's a couple of basic things. But do you know Assassin's Creed?" I'm like, "I've dabbled." He's like, "Cool. You have fun. If you need something, I'll come by." And we shot the shit a little bit. Hi to that. Hi out there, if you're watching this.
Tell all your
watch our content.
Tell all your friends, don't be that guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're supposed to do it. I get why they do it. It's just Justin, with another game we'll bring up as well, with both that and Shadow of War, he just had the tutorial guy next to him while I had the guy who's just like, "You got this?" I'm like, "I'm good." And he's like, "Fuck it, cool." Just kind of responds.
But he did show me some cool things, like if you're like near.
Well, you know how to deflect. I didn't fucking know how to deflect.
He didn't teach me that. He kept saying, "Just dodge out the way. They have spears. You can't hit them." No, like stuff like if you have the bow out near like a torch, you can actually like light the air.
Had no idea about that.
And then there's containers around that will catch on fire if you hit them, so you could do stuff like that.
Yeah, I got into combat around some containers, and I thought I hit the guy, and all of a sudden, like there was a shattering sound, and then just explosive blast of blackness, and I'm like, that guy has some weird blood. And then suddenly I watched the blackness creep towards the fire, and I'm like, oh, I bet that's oil. Sure enough, it was oil. The ground caught fire, my character caught fire, the surrounding area. I started running, it started following me. It wasn't quite Far Cry 4 level of fire following, but shit went down.
I want to say, like, there's a lot of Far Cry like influence stuff in here. I mean, even from like animal attacks too. Like, I was like swimming towards a ship, I got attacked by a hippo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. There's an aspect of that.
Did it eat you?
It tried. I just climbed out of the way and like looked down at it.
Well, it kind of brings back the hunting aspect of Assassin's Creed 3. But it feels a little more refined. But it's what we saw. There's definitely a crafting mentality to it. There's an RPG mentality to it. It's really cool.
Do you know how many hippo asses it's going to take to upgrade your quiver?
Not yet.
Not quite yet.
You
not
start
quite.
off with some hippo stuff in your
Mhm.
inventory. I didn't check the crafting system.
All I know is I could still I can now assassinate people again and pick their for like major characters. I can assassinate their asses, pick them up, and go throw them in a river.
Yep.
Which had been removed from previous Assassin's Creed games, or from throwing them into something.
They also claimed like animals will come over and eat the bodies. Actually, we threw them in a river. I don't know if you saw there was like blood.
No
coming
blood.
from
Yeah,
them.
I threw guys by in the water, and it chummed. It essentially just blood started spewing out of him and like changing the color of the water. So yeah, you can definitely like set up situations, I imagine.
Paint the river red.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's really cool. So we're gonna begin with a similar kind of combat thing, and that's the last one I'm gonna pull us towards Shadow of War. I only have a very little to say on Shadow of War. It is Shadow of Mordor,
It's more doors.
but it's more of it. They up it. It looks prettier, not by that
Sold.
much. It looks prettier. The combat's exactly the same. It adds a little bit of stuff. I haven't played Shadow of Mordor in 2 years. I was able to hop right back in, and just from muscle memory, because I played a shit ton of that game, I was able to actually fend myself off and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much the same thing. I did story missions, which involved at one point mounted combat against a Balrog style creature. Justin did siege mode, which so you remember Crackdown, where you could either go right against the big boss character, or you could take out their supply
Like,
chain and stuff like
yeah,
that.
little lieutenants and stuff
Right.
like that.
That's in this. So there's one
Really?
major like orc or high troll character. Then he has his war chiefs, and then the war chiefs have their generals and lieutenants.
So
And-
we're imagining that you could like take out the lieutenants and stuff, and when you go for the siege attack, they shouldn't be there.
Yeah, so like essentially you could take out the bodyguards, or you can take over the bodyguards. You can subjugate them under your
Right.
will, and stuff like that. So you can and you get the nemesis thing now is just this whole map of the hierarchy of this essentially. I assume there's multiple sieges and things like that. It was really fucking cool. Justin had the best fucking thing I think happened to him though with the siege. With one of because in the game you now have your own generals and your own lieutenants.
Yeah, you can pick which one from your lieutenants or generals you have, like, and you can actually pick which ones you want to go into battle with you. One of my guys was a bard, like a legit bard. He was dressed up in bard garb and
Bard
had
garb.
a lute, and he
Wait,
sang
is
at the beginning.
Bird Gerb.
Is this an orc?
Yes.
So all of your people are orcs. So you don't have any humans in your army at all.
No, there's like trolls too.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's trolls, orcs, and urks. But I think your army just consists of those either subjugated or convinced to join you.
I'm okay with that.
No, it works. It makes a lot of sense. It makes sense with how the story of the character is
Yeah.
progressing.
But
But-
don't take your bards in battle.
Yep.
He died immediately.
Like Justin said,
Ooh,
he said that
Didn't
the
sing the
siege,
song right.
the siege started and boo.
Can
Yeah, his
your
loot went flying.
dudes come back with like faceplates and stuff?
I don't think so. Like, it looks like kind of when your characters die, they die.
My understanding of your characters is when they're dead, they're dead. Have read somewhere that says that there might be like a low percentage that they will come back stronger than ever, but it's mostly command an orc rageous army. Fucking hell hard. But it seems like it's just your nemesis, those you come across, and those you form like the previous game, will be the ones that come back for more.
But like, the battle's like big, chaotic. You had to like knock down the gate to get into this castle, and then after that, just like A, B, and C capture points you had to get.
Yep. So, the game went from like the game I desperately wanted to a game that suddenly was pay to win.
That we wanted to protest.
That we were gonna not buy out of protest essentially and wait. To now it's like I like Nemesis systems. I want game.
They're the only ones who do it.
It plays really well. The bow and arrow in it is so satisfying. You headshot an orc, and like because you hold it down and charge it. You headshot an orc, and their head goes back, and like there's a blood spurt, and it feels really good.
More mounts too. I saw it, but I didn't get to play it. But there's a rideable Drake.
Yep. So there's rideable dragon stuff.
Nice.
I want to play it. It's coming out at a really bad time. I may still hold off.
I'm gonna
But
drink
It's
before
in
Burnout the Dragon.
October, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus, October.
it's October 11th, I want to say. I'm not going to again. I can't risk looking anything up right now. So it's good though. Let's see. Any other questions about stuff? Because we're kind of get to the tail end of the show.
South Park, just still good, I assume.
Oh my god, yes.
South Park is South Park, right?
It's gonna make me giggle and almost cringe sometimes. Just like
yeah,
the first
no,
one.
like don't give too much away, just because I want all the everything to be fresh for it.
I'm just gonna
But
say,
it's-
the
just
demo-
tell me I'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
So this is
Okay.
okay. There was a woman working the booth who was cracking up laughing watching Justin, and she literally looks, and it was legitimate laughing, and she just looks at me and she's like, "Look, I've watched this like 20 times today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I cannot stop laughing at seeing this same fucking sequence."
And you will be playing stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable too.
Oh my god. There's something, again, I'm not going to spoil it. There's something that we do spoil it. We do spoil an aspect of it in our review video. So when we get it's just that we'll be going up later just for people. It was our unedited, we just started talking about it kind of thing, didn't really think about it. But it's a small sequence, a small mini game, but it made me so uncomfortable that I actually walked away for a minute because I don't want to be around this right now.
I'll say it includes gyration and farting.
Yep, and leave it at that.
Shadow of War comes out during Hell Week, October 10th.
Fucking
with everything else. Like,
well, there's two sequences of Hell Week. There's October 10th and then October 27th. Those are our two hell. I mean, it's October's hell month, pretty much. So
Gaming First World Problems Day.
Exactly, but it's the same game except with superheroes. Like
except the combat too, because it has been traced to like a more like square.
It's a tactical RPG.
RPG.
So you actually get to move around the area.
The 10th, that's not Hell Week. The 17th through the 24th and the 27th, that's Hell time.
That's true Hell Week. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, PC Destiny.
Yeah, that's in the end of October.
That's October 24th tentatively.
No, that's scheduled.
I don't know.
I still stand by it was ready, and somebody paid them money to delay it 7 weeks or 8 weeks. It is exactly a difference of 7 or 8 weeks. That you can't tell me that's not planned.
Is it 77 days?
No, it's not 77 days. 77 days is very special to me, and that's changing up. That's turning over again tomorrow. But we're not going to get into WoW tonight.
Yeah, we'll have enough to talk about with that next week. But no, we got a chance to play the Destiny 2 beta on PC earlier. We both had played it on PS4. Did you guys get a chance to try it when it was on the consoles?
No,
I did a little bit.
No, I haven't touched anything about it.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'm not a huge Destiny head. I mean, I liked it, but I never got super into it. When I played the beta on PS4, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I didn't really, put too much thought into it. However, I got the PC beta today and played it, and it's gonna be worth it. It immediately realized how much better it was. Not only just in the playstyle, because mouse and keyboard with first person shooters, for me, it was fine. Brad was complaining that he felt like it was, kind of harsh as far as the sensitivity for it, but you can make adjustments for that kind of thing.
I figured out what it is. When you go to the computer and play an FPS, you don't jump, you don't run and shoot like you do in Destiny. Destiny is its own animal in that aspect. There's no other FPS I can think of that has that much vertical and horizontal mobility at the same time, with the double jumps and having to look down, shoot underneath you, behind you, and stuff.
It's got kind of like a Quake or Unreal kind of feel to it.
And so it's
more
action.
Call of Duty and Halo has been, except the next one.
I think it's got more going on than Halo does. Honestly, it's the action. It's just there's so much to get used to. Maybe I would feel the same way about Halo if it came to PC, but I love it. It is buttery smooth. I can maintain a solid 60 FPS in 4K.
Me too.
Oh
Well,
my
I don't
God.
have 4K, but like with what I've got, I get 60 frames. And like if there was a peripheral where I could stick my dick into it, I would
Like,
multiple times.
and it's well optimized. This is not a port. I went into I had turned it down to 1080 because I was testing the streaming. And I started to notice jaggies, and I went back and I was like, I'm going to switch this back to 4K. And it was like instant. There was no reloading. There was no flippy window shit. It's just like, do you want to apply these settings? Yes. Boom. And it was clear.
Not like Grand Theft Auto 5 where it's like, I need to change my brightness by half a point. Okay, now we got to restart your computer.
Yeah, it's so well done. I'm worried that I'm probably not going to play PlayStation at all after PC comes out. I mean, that's going to depend on who all I have to play with. Like, if I have a massive group of people to play on PlayStation, I'll probably end up staying there, but I'm still getting it on PC just because it's so pretty.
It's like I think it's definitely going to be worth it. And just like with everything else, if there's a steady group of folks playing it, then I think it'll be worth it, especially with all the BattleNet implementation. Because I hopped on it today, and all my Warcraft buddies were like, "What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?" And it was just like a storm of it. And so I feel like there'll be a good group of people to play it with, rather than how it was on consoles, where if well, I've got an Xbox, well, I got a PS4, well, we're fucked.
No, I think that I'm all but sold at this point. So
Yeah, I'm still like kind of like tossing between if I actually want to pick it up for console or not. Or I'm probably just gonna wait for PC.
well, for me, I'm
Something
waiting
comes
for
during
PC if I wait, but it's if I get it, but it's just whether I actually jump in or not.
I don't feel like I need to defend my decision, but I am buying twice simply because I don't want to have a chance at the story being spoiled, and I want to go into the PC and be that guy that people can look to and be like, how does this work? And I can show you things like that, and just know the proper way to level quickly and things like that. And yes, it's going to have a massive story this time. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
They're not. Are they going to start you off kind of like how they are with the beta, where it's like you're just already this all powerful thing?
Yes, they're going to Metroid you. You're going to get power sapped.
I'm just hoping that they're going to have like some tutorial stuff, because I mean I've played enough to kind of know what to expect, but like I feel like if there's a new person coming in, like they won't understand. Well, like if I'm playing a Titan, I can have this special move, or I can have this special move.
Supposedly, Homecoming is the second mission in the game, and that's what we've played. So I assume that the first one will have something similar to that.
Fair enough. So, just to wrap up,
there you go. That's
I show you the horse.
I didn't start singing a whole new world because I knew everyone would be
giant
mad at me.
monkey people shooting rockets and flamethrowers at my magic warlock guy.
Okay, so cool on Destiny. Stop trying to sell me on it. I'm getting really fucking annoyed at this shit. Is there any final GameStop Expo stuff we want to discuss before wrapping that up?
No, but to annoy you further, you can farm gold and WoW to pay for it. A 1-2.
I gave you all my gold when I got married. I mean, I think that's actually pretty accurate.
I'm sure I've spent it all now too.
Oh, by now I'm sure.
So with it all being said and done, I mean, would you guys trade your experiences there?
What do you mean?
Because I think you get about $3.
Okay, so one final thing about the GameStop Expo. So you mentioned enjoying Ryan, the idea of it being in Vegas. So rumor is that this is the last year in Vegas, and that they're also getting rid of the Anaheim one potentially. And the whole show's moving to Indiana.
Indiana?
Yep.
Why? What the fuck is there?
Well, Indiana has like Gen Con. There's actually a pretty good con scene there. But I'm imagining it's because it's cheaper rent for convention center. The Sands in Vegas has got to be cost prohibitive. I mean, they only used up half of it. Employees of GameStop Expo were not stop complaining about the convention center. Like, we just kept hearing them complaining about it. So there's probably a lot of shit going on. Which for me, the reason I go to the GameStop Expo is it's really cool to go to, but I go because I can drive 5 hours, be there, have fun. It's not that hard to do, and it's pretty inexpensive. I don't know how much is the flight to Indiana, but I'm not super interested in that.
Right.
And I can't do the Anaheim one if they stick there because that Anaheim's too fucking expensive. So at least during the time they usually run the event.
I think, honestly, they need to pick a different time of year because being the week after Gamescom and the week before PAX West is incredibly stupid if they want this to be successful.
Yeah, so that's the other thing is that being right before PAX has a lot of problematic aspects. But as an event as a whole, I'm really kind of disappointed that a lot of people don't know about it. But I'm also super happy because I got to play fucking games that I would and report on games that I would not have gotten the opportunity
Games
otherwise.
you would have to go to E3 to play.
Yeah. So.
Oh, did you guys actually get to see Greg and talk to him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked to Greg, Nick, and Tim. Greg saw us at one point and did his usual constantly calibrating and ran over and gave us a double hug that shook my eardrums.
Oh yeah, he's like, my boys.
My boys.
I love that bastard.
Talked to him a little bit. Gonna see him at PAX next week, and then
Is his
what?
shirt ready?
can't get the shirt done.
I'm really
too
interested
expensive.
in I'm really interested in seeing or hoping to get a chance to see his fucking panel he's doing.
The
I think
cancer
this
panel,
week.
yeah. It's Sunday. It's Sunday at PAX. He's talking. It's his 5-year anniversary of PAX. I think it's 5 years, is what he said. And he's talking about his entire journey with cancer. No, it's Justin and I are gonna watch it. We have to be there for it. It's gonna be an intense thing, I imagine. But talk to Nick about just a bunch of different random stuff. He and I just shot the shit about some production stuff and things of that nature, and then we bumped into Tim just wandering around. Ended up, this is before it aired, and Justin and I can't watch it until after dinner tonight. The Game of Thrones stuff we started discussing before the episode actually aired, and how him and I are both disappointed that we have to wait for him to see his girlfriend and me to see my wife, and Justin's disappointed about that as well.
Yep.
To see that. So, but we ended up having a 10 or 15 minute conversation about Game of Thrones with Tim Geddes.
I either need a free trial or somebody's login. Still.
We can work something out.
Yeah, stuff can be figured out. But ended up just shooting the shit with him about that. It was like a weird thing. But it's cool. So I had a nice time with them, and then chatted it up with some peripheral people. So it was overall a good event for networking and limitedly on content, but we don't go to that event expecting to make content other than this podcast and the review show.
All right.
And some stupid Instagram stuff.
Oh, and so there was no goodie bags this year. Was there any
There was
individual...
there were loot bags, but
Not for us.
so 2 years ago I asked them, does Meaty get loot bag? And like they were looking at each other, like the people working there, and like, I mean, we have like a couple thousand more than we have attendees. It's like, I guess you could have one, and that's how Joey and I got them. This year they were just like hard no. So we didn't get the loot bags, which sucks because the next of my Zelda Wind Waker puzzles was in it. There's like a trio of like stained glass puzzles. I had the first two. I don't have the third one. That was in the bag. I'd gotten the previous two at GameStop Expo previous years. I don't know what else was in there. I mean, obviously a bunch of Think Geek stuff. But we got a pin for playing Mario. I got a pin for something else. I forget why. Oh, final fun story. So I get online to get a bottle of water. I'm standing there, and I hear this guy talking behind me, and I'm like, I know that voice. Who the hell is this voice? And it's a guy trying to figure out if he should get a sandwich, which is the line I'm on, or get a slice of pizza. I turn around, and it's Ed Boon, co-creator of Mortal Kombat. And
wow.
Is this the first time you've met him?
I've never been in the same room as Ed Boon before.
He's been to GameStop Expo before.
Yeah, not the one I was at. The one I was at, the big guest was Todd McFarlane. So if he was at it, I don't believe so. It was him, and then wrestling guests. Oh yeah, Kurt Angle and Alexa Bliss for WWE fans were there as well. Kurt Angle is so much more tan in person than I ever would have imagined, and he's already looks like a fucking gigantic orange man on TV. So it was very surprising to see. Yeah, but Ed Boon didn't talk to him or anything. He was getting food, and he switched lines, and I'm like, I'm not going to bother the guy. His signing was in 10 minutes. So, but it was like, yeah, co-creator Mortal Kombat just standing right behind me. Cool. And I'm so fucking hungry right now, so we got to wrap.
All right.
Brad.
Tonight, YouTube. Tonight on YouTube, and probably I'll put up on Twitch if I can fucking remember for once. Like it might go up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, but we'll have our review thing, and it'll get tweeted out, as it goes up, and then a bunch of times.
All right. Did we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, we'll be back, and they will have attended PAX West.
Yeah, fun thing about PAX West, both of our flights get in like a few hours before the show. So as long as there's not delays, we will be discussing PAX West. If you think we're exhausted right now, that'll be a whole other thing. Though Justin will be back home, and I'll be here all alone. But we're discussing PAX West. PAX West, I think I looked into it. We currently have, I think it was 14 scheduled appointments for a total of 19 games.
Wow.
And we're only going for 3 of the 4 days this year. So,
all right.
Which funny thing is that sounds like a lot. That still leaves us with almost 2 to 3 hours every day of free wandering time. Which should put in perspective, we had no wandering time last year. So that's just to show you how much fucking stuff we covered last year. But got a wide array of stuff from some indie stuff up to some AAA. I think we have a few AAA things.
Yeah.
So we're all over the map. We'll have a lot of fun stuff for that. Give me one moment. I want to double check. So we haven't done a mental health breakdown in the last few weeks because a couple weeks ago, I frankly overslept. And then last week, I was so stressed out about GameStop Expo that I did not get around to it. But we are going to be chatting with so we're going for mental health breakdown, which will be roughly 5 p.m. Pacific. It might not be exact. Live from the PAX show floor, we're going to be chatting with where's his name here? With Jason Docton, the founder of Anxiety Gaming. It's a 501c3 charity. We will have him live from the show floor discussing anxiety and depression. Again, 5 p.m. it's gonna be rough. It may actually be earlier. We'll update people on all social media stuff as needed. So good stuff there. And then PAX West will be an experience. I don't know if we'll do any live streaming. Honestly, I wasn't really happy with how the live streaming came out for GameStop. It was problematic, and then
It's gonna be really loud, dude.
yeah. So I'm not sure. We get in early as media by an hour. Maybe we'll stream the Behemoth free breakfast, because why this shit not? I don't know. We'll figure out. We'll see what the signal is. Signal was really fucking awful last year. So if we stream or anything like that, it'll be we'll announce that on all the social media stuff that Brad will get to in a second.
Righto.
But otherwise, I don't know if we'll be doing the nightly videos. That's also going to depend on a few things. But we'll at the very least have content coming out. Hopefully get it all out the week afterwards. I have a couple of fun ideas in mind for this year.
Fun ideas. Alrighty then. So, this has been okay, I thought you were going to take a nap there.
Oh, and I should have a new chair for next week's podcast. They only fucking shipped me the seat of the chair. They forgot to send me the actual goddamn chair. So I should actually have
You
a
should
really
just sit on it on your current chair out of spite.
It's too wide. I tried already, though.
You should-
Justin could have sat on it on the kitchen chair he's in. That might have worked.
Yeah, that might have worked.
And been more comfortable.
I would have
with fucking-
taken a picture of me sitting on it and tweeted it out to them. Be like,
So
thanks for the chair.
I like these guys. I don't want to burn a bridge. That's why I'm not even naming them right now. They'll get named once I get the chair. I like them. It's not their fault. I got full explanation. They switched to a new warehouse because the previous warehouse was purposefully, they thought, not sending orders out. My order was sent through during the switchover. So it's not. I hold nothing against them. I just like to make.
Well, I mean, I need a new chair, like no lie. So if you can work some magic on this and blackmail them, into sending your team one, that'd be great.
I will look into it, sir.
I mean, I'm good, but I'll always take an extra chair. All right. So it has been a week of stuff and conventions. So we have been constantly calibrating. You can find us here every Monday, unless otherwise noted, at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Let's just get sleepy.
Yeah, we'll just get sleepy and say, fuck this. We're not doing it this week.
We'll just have all of our friends host it instead.
I mean, we kind of could.
At this point, we have enough. Between featured personalities and friends, we could very easily.
I don't want to do that because then they might all just start their own together and be better than us. They probably would.
Chris plus Blake, I could see it. Chris, Blake, and Jen, I could see it happening.
Yep. So you can find us online at a multitude of places, constantlycalibrating.com, twitch.tv/constantlycalibrating, which is where you are right now. Look us up on Facebook, Constantly Calibrating, and we're on Twitter at ConCalPod, Instagram, ConCalPod. Anything else I'm forgetting? I always feel like I'm forgetting something because there's so much stuff.
It's entirely possible. I wasn't paying attention, though.
Fair enough.
No, actually, I got one. Reviews. Reviews always help. ConstantlyCalibrating.com/CC iTunes.
Yes, that, please. Like, comment, subscribe, 5-star, all that good stuff.
Touch our butts.
Touch their butts.
Oh, at PAX West, I'm going to have the remainder of our shirts. I'm going to probably just leave them in the hotel room, but they're going to be $12.
Buy our shirt! $12.
$12 on the show floor. They're the white shirt with the logo and the really awesome arm thing. I have a few. I don't know what sizes I have. I think they're mostly larges left over, but $12 on the show floor. Normally, we've been selling them for $15. So, if you want a discount.
Again, we're Constantly Calibrating. I am Brad. I have been OG Zenos on Twitter. Ryan is at RideAF on Twitter. Josh is at Bear Punch on Twitter. And Justin is at The Asian Gamer on Twitter. Thank you all for joining us, be it live or recorded podcast. Until next week, we bid you good sign off.